Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll start our meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all. Amen, brother. Good evening, everyone. This is the Union Township Board of Trustees.
Good stuff, huh?
This is a special meeting for November 5th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Gentlemen, our intent would be to only work on the items that were approved on the agenda. Since this is a special meeting.
Great.
Let the record show that all three trustees are present. Also present is our fiscal officer, Mr. Ron Campbell. Gentlemen, I'm going to skip down to, go past the purchase orders and move down to first item would be the Union Township Fire Station number 53 and COVID Immunization Center Project Bid Award. Mr. Wright, did you have a couple comments that you'd like to make regarding this?
Yes, Mr. McGraw, thank you. As the board is aware, we've had RFQ, RFP process soliciting proposals for the Fire Station 53 and COVID Immunization Center. We have received, and pleased to report, we received 4 very good, thorough proposals in response to the RFPs from 4 very qualified contractors. All of the proposals all the proposals received were from competent contractors, and there was more than $1 million worth of spread between the 4 proposals, as you can see. Chief Dimling and I met with our criterion engineer. We ranked the proposals. All of them are great, but at the end of the day, the winning proposal was Cincinnati, or at least we're recommending, is Cincinnati United Contractors, in that their total cost was $3,502,960 for the base proposal, and then even with bid alternates, as you'll see the number, $3,724,360, which includes some additions to help further enhance that building. They are more than $200,000 cheaper than the next closest bidder. Mm-hmm. So with that, based upon the criterion engineer's recommendation and the comprehensive scoring approach and review that we took of the proposals, I would recommend to the board to recommend the board award the contract to Cincinnati United Contractors, LLC, in the amount stated, $3,724,360, and then to authorize us or me specifically, to negotiate and enter a final design build contract based on the parameters stated in the proposal. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wright. Any questions, gentlemen, that you have for Mr. Wright at this time?
I have none, sir. Thank you, sir.
I have no questions. Thank you for the detailed information for us to evaluate.
Yeah, Mr. Wright, a basic question here. And clarity's sake, if anyone has any outside question with it. With the design build nature of the project, that's essentially, we do not anticipate any change orders to the construction plan as it is, design plan as it is, correct? Because that is the design build process. And
correct.
Therefore, we don't anticipate any additional or cost growth to occur out of that, right?
Correct. And so part of this, with the additions, we do include a project contingency. The board will also note when we get to the purchase orders that the purchase order number is significantly greater than the maximum guaranteed contract price. That is in case we discover any unforeseen circumstance during excavation, whatever, that we'd have to deal with on the site. if we're underway. Absent that, and again, if there was a change order or a modification to this project, we would bring it back to the board. But you're correct, that with the additions, contingencies, and all that, that would cover, that 3,724, 360 would be the maximum amount of the contract. Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, so the 3.7 million is the contract amount as planned, and basically the 4.2 million on the requisition is to cover lateral, basically to have any cost growth or increase that we may have due to excavation, and essentially formalizing, documenting this tonight. The board has the recommendation or decision in front of them to essentially grant business clearance, essentially, per se, for, to carry out the contract, execute the contract, but already have that threat, that limitation that it could increase up to 4.283 million, but if we would not, that would be the maximum, essentially not to exceed without coming back to the board for any additional funds to be allocated, if there was significant changing site conditions, correct?
Correct. So we build in the contingency in the purchase order to deal with unforeseen circumstances. Again, if there is a significant issue in the contract that would necessitate that, we would certainly advise the board of that issue. So, but the 3,724, 360 is the maximum price, and that is certainly, we anticipate bringing the project at or under that amount, so.
All right, no, that's excellent, and I know that Sanjeet said yourself and also Chief Dimling evaluated, reviewed all proposals looked technically satisfactory for the requirements and met the requirements. Chief, you feel comfortable and strong that, at this point in time, before shovels break the ground, that everything that we need is there for?
Yeah, the committee that reviewed the proposals were very pleased with the number of proposals and the quality of all the proposals. They were all excellent.
All right, no, fantastic, and and meets all the requirements that you see that the fire needs. Just want to make sure we're getting everything that you need and forecast and projected for moving forward. So great, no, I think this is excellent, excellent then to be able to finally bring service to northern corner of Township. So
Amen.
I think that, thank you, and again, it's just us in here. It's always good for me with, the new gentleman in the street here with you guys, so appreciate allowing me the time to go through those questions, but if anyone does want to review or talk and hear, they can recognize the, that's, in my world, that's the thought process of what you've built in there. You've built in the risk for the fact that there could be differing site conditions, and instead of having to come back for the board and ask for an additional budget amount, we're factoring in that 4.2 million right now, giving you the authority, because again, we thoroughly trust our staff and our team members to execute this project. So you definitely have my strong support behind it, so thank you. Thank you for your due diligence on this package.
Thank you.
And I'll also note that due to the design of the building, there's still flexibility up to the point before, final design, that Chief Dimling or the staff could make some minor changes to the configuration of the different rooms, or, possibly move, a kitchen to the front or things like that to the back, whatever. The design makes it capable that they could change some internal things to make it more functional if they so choose to still.
Okay.
So there is some time left to review that process and check the design again to make sure the doors are tall enough for the trucks to fit in. So that's always a good thing.
Well, I might as well say something too, Chief. Are you satisfied with the situation as it stands now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we were happy to get the number we did. They were all excellent. One of the things we didn't talk about was one of the other considerations by the team was time to build, because obviously the design of this building is unique with COVID-19 and the drive-through immunization center, so that was another consideration. And that, just like the bids varied by more than $1 million. So did the length of time
Correct.
that they stretched all the way into 2022.
Yes.
So, the one that was selected was, stood out, absolutely stood out, but they were all excellent, excellent proposals. And yeah, I mean, I have no hesitation whatsoever to recommend this recommendation tonight.
I know that someone out there in the audience is going to say, how long is it going to be before this station becomes operational? Possibility.
Now, obviously, there's variables here that,
I understand that.
with winter
Weather
construction and everything
variables,
else
outside the
involved.
weather variables.
But we're looking at fall of next year to be having open. Fall of next year.
Thank you, sir.
That's fantastic. And, I guess I'd be remiss not to, I guess state a little bit more around this fact that, this is, let's say, the location, the property site across from Polo Fields, that neighborhood. Originally, Mr. Wright, you may add in on that, and, if I can't go too deep into history, but due to the nature of the special meeting, I'll look for any, guidance there with you. But, the history there being that has been always a thought, promise to the community, basically, to have that support and fire service out there. So that's something the community has wanted for a long-standing time now. That's my research of the project in the first place. And then
20+ years.
additionally, 20+ years, Trustee McGee, so 20+
Yeah.
years. And then, additionally, I personally heard from several residents strongly supporting an interest to at least have that coverage for support. A resident up there had passed recently, and they had some questions about coverage, et cetera. So they strongly support that, because again, it's what, that really covers a lot of our entire community then, to be, critical, getting critical care within golden hour to get you to the hospital. But, I know life-threatening, so much damage can be unwound or prevented if you just get the right medical attention and hands on you within 10 minutes. And as chief, is just, if you have anything different to state to that, but that's, again, my history lesson on that was township people of the township have wanted it for a long time, and I think we still have that strong support today.
Yeah, Mr. McGee is absolutely right, that, going back to a deployment analysis that was done for staffing and response times that was presented publicly to the Board of Trustees at the time in 1992, recommended a 30-year plan, marching out, adding a station, expanding the 49s, adding the 50s because it was not a manned station, adding a fire station to the southeast, and ultimately adding a station to the northwest so that we had equal coverage township-wide. We spend our lives 24 hours a day trying to put the right number of people with the right training, with the right equipment, in the right location, in the right amount of time.
Amen.
And if we can't bring all those pieces together, if we're missing one of those pieces, and definitely one of those pieces is, I can put all the right people with all the right equipment and all the training in the world at your house that's on fire, or if you're having a medical emergency or a heart attack or trauma. But if I got there too late to make a difference, I really haven't provided you with a full service. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. This has been, a very thought out, long-term strategic plan to try and make that coverage available to all the citizens of Union Township. And this is one of those parts of the plan that's been out there for 20+ years. And, we're very happy to be able to be moving forward on that. We're moving at a pace on this that I've never seen before in any government type of project. And, that's a credit to this board, that the opportunity raised itself to be able to jump on this now, because it really wasn't planned to start that this year. But that opportunity presented itself, and I thank the board for saying, hey, we have an opportunity to improve these services to the citizens of Union Township. And keep in mind, it's not just improving the services to the northwest, because, if we don't have a fire station there, then the next closest fire station is making those runs. So now the people in Summerside and Eastgate don't have anybody in their fire station when they need it, and then Willowville's covering Eastgate, and it's just a, you know, a chain reaction. So this actually improves services township-wide because it allows the people in the station closest to them to remain in their district versus going all the way, you know, down to Round Bottom Road, and in this case, to provide services, and then there's nobody providing protection in the Eastgate area. So, you know, it's a win-win township-wide.
Absolutely. All right, Ned, thank you. Really appreciate the background analysis with that, and you're absolutely right as far as the ability to capitalize on essentially strategic success with this, because it's, you know, the board's activity, you know, earlier this year to be able to, one, recognize, be planning for that as far as the location-wise, what is actually available in more and more landlocked, you know, areas, and actually having good site visibility, good site land. So being prepared for, you know, opportunity and then being able to be successful there, having the land and having that in place, you know, the township was really set up for success when the opportunity presents itself. Unfortunately, you know, out of a national situation right now in which, one, we need not only the fire services, but we need the COVID-19 drive-through center, therapy center, to be able to get the immunizations that are going to be coming. I mean, I see this working in perfect partnership with like Operation Warp Speed from the national level, in which we're wanting to get this, you know, this ability and this capability out to the American people. And it only makes, you know, so much sense with the fact that we are, you know, largest township in Clermont County, but we're also bordering Hamilton County there. You know, I don't know what the stipulations there would be on immunization as far as county, you know, residents, township residents, when immunizations hit. I'm sure that it's going to be, you know, something that, one, and that's a question I heard from community members too, as far as would there be long lines of cars out the road? No, it's, you know, it's something that we're able to schedule and control and be able to offer those services and schedule time for, you know, at least the drive-through immunization effort to combat COVID-19. But I see this as, you know, as population around the world continues to increase, the accessibility to travel continues to increase, you continue to see more and more virus and, you know, communicable diseases that get passed. So this really just puts us at the forefront of being able to provide the best service that we possibly can to the residents of Union Township. So we appreciate your steadfast support there.
Right, well, and again, kudos to, you know, the Board of Trustees and Mr. Geis, because, you know, we have a very strict schedule of when and how that money that's being used can be used. And if they didn't have the foresight to have, to position themselves to be ready to just hit the ground running with this project, it would have been an opportunity lost for sure.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief Diamond.
And Mr. Wright, correct me if I'm wrong, but also, gentlemen, if you look through the information from the contractors that put in prices on this, the project that we're being asked to approve had some recommended alternatives, and they're listed. However, even with those added in, the price still came in below the next responsible bidder. So I just want to point that out, that the added cost actually still came underneath the next bid that was in there. So just, I think that's good to know.
Amen. True.
All right, if there's no further questions for the Chief Dimeling or Mr. Wright, I'll go ahead and move on with this part of the agenda. This is regarding Union Township Fire Station 53 and COVID Immunization Center Project Bid Award. We're being asked to award the Union Township Fire Station 53 and COVID Immunization Center Project, Cincinnati United Contractors LLC, in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 153.693, inclusive in the amount of $3,724,360, and further authorizing Mr. Corey Wright, Assistant Township Administrator, to negotiate and enter into a final design, build, construction contract based on the parameters stated in the submitted proposal and pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 153.693, permitting modifications to the scope to comply with applicable engineering review or code compliance, and further authorizing the execution of any and all documents thereto in furtherance of the same. Gentlemen, do you have any other comments or questions about this
No, sir. I have
proposal? If not, I'll ask
I think
for
it's
someone to make a motion.
Enough said, and I'd be more than happy to make a motion to accept the statement that you just read, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw,
Yes.
and Mr. Logan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, gentlemen, in order to help move this project along, and one of the reasons why we're having a special meeting, not only because of the pending and the ongoing pandemic of COVID-19, but also there are funds available, and we're being asked to adopt Resolution 2020-33. This is a resolution regarding excess COVID-19 funds, Union Township COVID-19 Center. We're being asked to adopt this resolution 2020-33, approving a resolution regarding the pursuit and procurement of any excess COVID-19 CARES Act funding in Clermont County, Ohio. And my understanding is these funds would be forfeited if not used before the end of the year. So the time is of the essence, not only for people's health and safety and to get the project moving as quick as possible, but also due to these funds that are available now. So gentlemen, do you have any comments or questions regarding Resolution 2020-33?
I have no comments.
Okay, I'll ask for
No
a
further
motion.
comments.
I'll ask for a motion then to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second it.
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll move back up to purchase orders. We're being asked to adopt a purchase order recommended by Mr. Corey Wright, our Assistant Township Administrator. Mr. Wright, could you read the purchase order?
Yes, Mr. McGraw, the single purchase order I have this evening is to Cincinnati United Contractors, Inc. This is for the Union Township Fire Station 53 COVID-19 Immunization Center. The total value of the purchase order is $4,283,013.99, 4023013.99. And that, as stated previously, includes additional contingency above the maximum guaranteed contract price in the proposal.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, any questions or comments on this purchase order?
No, I have none, sir.
I'll ask for a motion then to approve the purchase order as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGee,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Gentlemen, I think that concludes the business on our agenda tonight. However, I did want to mention, I believe this is only the second special meeting that I've been a part of since I've been a trustee. And I did want to mention that pursuant to trying to be as transparent as possible, that the township went to great lengths to advertise the meeting, not only on our website, it was advertised on social media, including Facebook, which I saw that and shared it on my Facebook, as well as our township electronic message center signage. We also delivered a notice of the meeting to many news outlets locally, including print media, to specifically with the information about the meeting regarding tonight. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that we've taken extraordinary measures to try to get the information out so that people know about the meeting, and people who want to know about the meeting, the information's there to gather, and it could be here tonight. And then we also record our meetings, so any questions about this meeting at a future date, anybody can watch the meeting and ask questions. So it'll be available on our website, it's on UTTV, it'll be on our Facebook page, and many ways to view it and ask questions at another time.
And the information is available at our offices, also transparency applied.
Yes,
Yeah,
great point.
Trustee McGraw, Trustee McGee, thank you. I was gonna say, Trustee McGraw, you, have done excellent as our, chairman of the board and being that vocal communication point to a lot of the community on a number of different, areas. I'll stay specific to the topic of tonight's special meeting, but, thank you. I was exactly looking at that, thinking the exact same thing as far as the published notice. Mr. Wright, to see that this is in the folder tonight, part of the record. I really appreciate that. I think that it's, fantastic that, it's there and it's part of the meeting documents, that are available. And again, Trustee, McGraw, as you stated, as far as just making it, knowledge and, to the community, and, that, the community is aware of the steps taken there prior to the meeting. So, thank you. Appreciate it. Good work as chairman for the board.
Well, thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
So gentlemen, I don't believe there's any other topics. If I missed anything, that you were aware of?
No, just thanks for everybody taking their time out to be here this evening. Thank you, Chief Dimely.
Yes, especially our staff,
Lawyer Ron Campbell.
Mr. Wright.
Mr. Campbell, Mr. Logue, Mr. Grohl, and me. God bless you all, and you all have a good time, and
And thank you to our audience and anybody watching.
yes,
So gentlemen, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
so moved, sir.
Second?
Roll call. Mr. McGee,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Logue,
Yes.
Mr. McGraw.
Yes,
We're adjourned at 6:27 PM. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.